Hey guys, it's Sid with SVTPerformance.com. We're at PRI 2023 in the VMP booth with Mr. Starkey himself. We're going to walk around. He's going to show us some of the new stuff he's got working on. He just told me new throttle bodies.
Always looking to improve and innovate and just offer our customers more of what they want. So we have upgraded our 105 millimeter throttle bodies to 108s, and this throttle body brings other than just size, it brings several enhancements about. It doesn't require an adapter plate anymore. The blade will still open all the way on a stock unported blower, and it also has stronger electronics in it, and it just works really good even though it's bigger. Normally bigger can cause problems, but not in this situation. So excited to get those out there on cars making power.
That's been one of the holdups forever on these larger throttle bodies is the electronics, isn't it? Just having the electronics be strong enough and quick enough to actuate that and keep the blade from snapping closed. Yeah.
So these have the better electronics in them now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been a holdup forever on the electric throttle bodies. What else we got you want to look at? Whoops. Oh yeah, I saw this. You had a nice video you did on this tank. That's something I think has been needed for a long time. Just because, there's a lot of nice fabricated tanks, but at the end of the day, it's not like it's a polished product. Like this looks like an actual big boy product, like a big company made it and everything. And it's not, even if it's beautifully fabricated, it doesn't look homemade. So that's kind of the way I look at it. So what was really the impetus behind the design for you?
So I've had this idea to mount through the spare tire mounting hole forever. So I wanted to do that. And please don't look too closely. We lost the plate and had to have it shipped here. So, and then, through drag racing and working with customers and working through problems and stuff, we found often like the pumps weren't mounted the greatest, the wiring had issues. So, we'd see these spikes in IATs and the customer's like, I got an ice tank. Well, it's not working. So we wanted to be able to sell the customer a complete package that has, the pump mounted in such a way that it's not going to get starved on launch, give them bracketry, we'll offer wiring. We've got a pickup screen, just not have to figure it out on your own, but you'd be able to buy what you need and have it work.
So it's just a complete product, and I like how you have the threaded inserts ready to go in it so you can mount things like pump controller, and it looks like you've got options for outlet size too on it.
Yeah, so there's two pumps on here for display purposes, but it's got a 1.5 inch outlet, and then the other side will end up being your return. And I don't have them with me, but the tank will come with molded silicone adapters and everything to go down to 1 inch lines, 3/4 inch lines, just because where do you find that stuff? We're going to supply that to you.
Yeah. Well, that's great because it keeps you from having to go on a quest to find all the parts you need to install something like this. Which to me, that's like the biggest advantage of this is it's a complete package. You can just drop it in. You're not having to gather parts from many different sources. And I like that you're using the big boy pump off of, what was this, like the Fusion Hybrid or something like that. It's some application that's not meant for this, but it works. And it's such a nice upgrade over what we had like in the Terminator and Lightning days with that old Bosch pump.
And even Bosch now, this is the modern Bosch pump. This comes with all of our supercharger kits, and it works pretty good. And there are even some pumps that are still in the 3/4 size but flow a little bit more that we are exploring offering, because you may want to do this, but you may not be ready for the big boy pump yet. So,
and then what's the deal with this little piece?
So, when people are running ice, we see a lot of corrosion in the intercoolers. So we decided to include an anode and an extra port on the bottom for it to help address corrosion.
A little cathodic protection.
Yeah. And you got a boat, you know all about that stuff.
Oh yeah. Dissimilar metals, or with, like you said, if you're running straight water, a lot of people don't understand that water is looking for ions, and guess what it's going to pull it from? That or your block. So it's going to eat something.
So one of the things that we went ahead and opted for the best lid out there. These things tend to not get stuck on, they tend to seal really well, so every tank will come with one of these lids, and we have recessed it back so the carpet still fits.
Oh, that's nice. And then, yeah, using the spare tire mount, great idea, so you don't have to hack the floor all to pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Speaking of other ice tanks, we've shown this one before, but I don't think we've got to show it in like this configuration, which is, you've told me about this thing for years. This has been the plan all along, but now it's finally here. GT500, cold air intake, with the matching ice tank that fits perfectly just over there on the fender. It's a really good looking product, especially for the GT500 guys, because it doesn't even have a coolant tank from the factory.
No, it's a fill point.
Yeah, so I mean, how much fluid capacity are you adding with this?
So this is about 1.25 gallons, and you can drain it down halfway and fit a 10-pound bag of ice in there. And yeah, it just gives you another option for these 500s. So a lot of people, this is off of our Odin supercharger system for the GT. The 500 people were buying it, and they were trimming their shields and doing a bunch of other stuff to make it fit. And it had always been my dream to do a cold air that work together with both of them.
Yeah, and it looks like it's one unit together. It's a really nice looking piece.
So this cold air is 6-inch here, it's 5-inch here, and we supply silicone couplers for the different size throttle bodies out there.
Oh, that's nice.
This is actually a 112 throttle body, but this is a custom blower and everything. When you neck down, there's a coupler for the 105 and the 108, and then the stock throttle body.
And then another thing, I like how you're using metal inserts embedded into the blow molded, I guess that's roto molded, isn't it?
Yeah, roto molded. Yeah. So there's a little bit of science to the inserts. On something larger like the tank, we actually use a spin weld insert because it's the same material, and when it gets hot, it bonds together. There's no glue, there's no failure point. These, we wanted a metal insert, so we just have there's actually a lot of molding, and the insert's probably about that thick. Yeah. So it's got a lot of surface area, so it doesn't come loose.
Yeah. And that's one of those things you just learn over time, I'm guessing, manufacturing parts like this. Like what works best for the best application.
Exactly. Like we're always improving. I tend to really nitpick on the details, and there's some stuff on that tank where, like, inside underneath the lid, there's an extra flange to just strengthen that whole area, because I looked at it and I'm like, that will be the weak point.
Yeah. So yeah, why not address it in the design phase? And then we've talked about all your various intercoolers over the years. I mean, I think we were the first ones to actually install this setup on the Raptor R. That's on the channel. If you want to watch that, that's pretty freaking cool. Without tuning, we were able to show, like, just go back and watch the video, but long story short, the tune is meant to make a number, and it makes the number, and you add stuff like this that you know is adding 30 horsepower, and it makes the same horsepower, but it just keeps pushing it down lower in the RPM range, so it's just making it more efficient. It's crazy. But once you have tuning for something like that, that's where these intercooler bricks really, really shine. And the lid itself, that's a huge upgrade. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff that we've done, and I like to see that you just keep adding more and more options for guys. Like if you're not ready to slip up to, like you said, the inch lines, you don't have to.
So this is a heat exchanger we're offering now with threaded fittings, and that heat exchanger can also be run in single or dual pass configuration. You know, we basically want to be able to supply everything you need cooling wise for a supercharged car, or even if you're using like an air to water on a turbo car.
Which is becoming popular. So I've seen a lot of guys just hogging out blower cases using big intercooler brick, and yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered just about most of the new stuff in the booth here. We might get like back down to Florida and do a little in-depth on stuff. You know, this is not really the best place to dig into the deep dive engineering, but appreciate you giving us a quick overview, and thank you. If you guys are interested, VMPperformance.com. got all the nice hot parts and everything. And we'll be heading around PRI looking at some more stuff. And I know Justin's busy. He's got guys coming in, like, look at this crowd. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and it's already packed. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you. See you guys next time.